Okay, I'm super excited. I am here with someone super famous, which is really cool. And you may have seen her on your mum's social media or even your own as you've been going on online. Ms. Jenkins.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Good. Also known as the Chromatic music teacher,
Yes.
right? So tell us a little bit about yourself and about your musical journey. How did you get into doing what you're doing now?
Yes, so music has been a huge part of my life ever since I was young. My mom started teaching me piano when I was 6, and so that was always a huge part of my life. I joined band as soon as I was old enough, so I started playing the alto saxophone in the 6th grade, and I was in marching band. I absolutely loved it, and I was the drum major of my high school's marching band, which was really what caused me to go into music education.
So your mum was kind of influenced you, because everyone's influenced by something, aren't they?
Yes.
So your mum influenced you. What did she play?
She plays piano.
She plays piano. So you play piano. Okay, let me see if I was listening properly.
Yeah.
You play piano, alto saxophone.
Yes.
Do you sing as well?
I do sing,
Okay,
yes.
that's really good. So all those things help you to realise that music is something that you wanted to do for the rest of your life, right?
Yes, and I loved being able to share and teach that to other people. So I went into college wanting to be a band director, and during student teaching, I fell in love with teaching elementary, just how fun it is to work with the younger students and be able to instill that love and passion of music at a young age that can last for a lifetime.
So it's cool because we got to know each other. She got to know me because she uses QuaverEd in her school, and we got to know her because we were looking online. We were like, who's this lady who uses all these Boomwhackers, who everybody knows? So we're like, maybe we should get together and talk about some of those things. So how did you get into, so you teach music, you enjoy teaching music. Tell us a couple of things that you love about just teaching music.
I love getting to see the light bulb moments when students really get it, or when they figure out that they can sing or they can play an instrument. I'm a firm believer that every child is a musician and has innate musical ability. And so just kind of unlocking that in students and helping them discover different areas that they are really passionate about and really love, and watching them pursue music and the arts on their own, even after I'm finished having them as a teacher.
You're a teacher and you thought, you know, like most people, they're on social media and YouTube and all those different things. And you thought, you know, what made you think I could do something with this and get followers and become really famous in that way? What happened? Is there some sort of story?
I never expected to become famous, but I've always loved making videos, even having a big VHS camera when I was younger. I would go around and sing songs from various musicals, and so making music and making videos has always been a part of my life. And really, when COVID hit and everything shut down, I used a lot of that time to learn about video editing, and I was making videos where I would sing multiple vocal parts or play multiple instruments. And then once I got my teaching job later that year in 2020, I wanted to have a teacher account on a lot of social media. So I started using the Boomwhackers. I had hung them up in my classroom as just sort of a decoration. And with the pandemic, I wasn't actually getting to teach from my classroom the first year. I was teaching on a cart, and I wanted to have a bright spot in my classroom. So the Boomwhackers provided that bright spot, and I had just a few followers at that point, and people were wondering, what are the rainbow tubes behind me? And so the first video I made was Happy Birthday. It was very simple, and the editing process was not very refined, but I woke up and it had about 100,000 views, and so I realized that people enjoyed seeing Boomwhackers. The fun, the color, the nostalgia factor, people really enjoyed them.
So there's one thing to really notice here. So if you're watching this and you're a young person, you think, oh, you know, your dream is to be famous, okay? So notice when you listen to what Miss Jenkins says, she didn't want to be famous, okay? That wasn't the passion. Her passion was to help people enjoy music. And out of that passion has become fame, okay? So tell us a little bit more. So when you made that first video, you're like, people seem to like Boomwhackers, they're colourful. You did that first video, you go to bed, you have a dream about puppies or whatever it is. You wake up and suddenly you've got 100,000 people have watched it. What did you think?
I couldn't believe it. You know, I had been making videos before, and I think the most I'd ever had on a video was 10,000 at that point. So it was huge. I was never expecting that. And then the gears started turning in my mind of what else can I do with this? And people started asking for requests. And so I would do different songs that just everyone knows, or different songs that were trending on social media at the time. And certain songs just work really well for Boomwhackers, just the nature of the sound. And so I started making more.
So you had to take what had happened and you had to sort of develop it a little bit, didn't you? Just like a composer might take some music, you might, like when Beethoven first was, I don't know what he was doing, walking down the road, and suddenly he thought, da 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 da. Now probably 100 people had thought of da 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 da, but only Beethoven took that idea and made it into something amazing. So you took that initial idea, you got all those hits, and then you had to, was it hard work to do that? I mean, I guess it's not easy. You have to spend time, like after school you go teaching and you're tired, and you come on Friday, you're like, oh man, I've got to make some more videos. So is it hard work?
It is hard work, but I enjoy it. And I throughout the process, I figured out how to do it more efficiently. At first, when I would figure out what song I was going to be doing, I would record only the Boomwhacker pitches that I needed for that song. And it didn't take me long to realize, oh, I just need to record each one time, and then I'm able to edit it really into whatever song that I want. And so my editing process and my filming process became more refined, but also easier at the same time throughout the weeks following that first video.
Maybe there's a student watching and they think, man, I really want to be on YouTube. I want to have like a social media presence, and they've got a skill and a talent. So what would be your advice to them, how they can set up their own social media accounts?
Absolutely. Come up with a username that is unique, something that's going to stand out, and just start trying out different things. Maybe you can play a couple of different instruments and see what instruments people like. You know, you don't have to know right when you start a channel exactly what you're going to be doing the whole time. Your interests will develop, and you'll see things that you maybe didn't even know that you were good at develop as you continue to go along. So just try, you know, put things out there. Maybe you want to play the guitar or sing or play the piano, and you never know what might happen and who might see it and who might really like it. So keep trying. Persistence and perseverance, I would say, would be the biggest thing. You can't get discouraged if your first video only gets 10 views. You have to keep going. Everyone starts somewhere, and the biggest creators that you see, it's taken them a while to get to where they are. And so you can't get discouraged that you don't have 1 million followers in your first week of making videos or anything like that.
But what you notice as well from what you're saying, so what I'm hearing from what you're saying is that as you developed it, there were things that didn't work and things that did work. And so you refine the process. So when you go into something like, if you want to have a social media following, or even as a composer, it's the same thing, isn't it? You write a verse, you write a chorus, and you think, you come back to it, maybe that didn't work like it should, and you do it again, and you improve your process as you go along. That's part of working, isn't it? It's part of the creative process. So was there any times when you got your 100,000 hits and you did some more videos and there was more followers, and then you did one and it didn't work, and you did another one, it didn't work, and you thought, oh man, maybe this isn't gonna work? What did you do to sort of keep yourself going through like the times when it didn't work so good?
Right. You know, I would have people who would comment. There are people who comment negative things, but the people who would comment positive things was so overwhelming. The people who just love seeing the Boomwhackers and how fun and positive they are. And if I did have a video that didn't do as well as the other ones, I would look at why maybe that one didn't do as well and figure out what I could fix for the next time, whether it was just the smoothness of how the video worked, or maybe trying to get a smaller clip of whatever song I was playing. And my family and my boyfriend were very encouraging, and my fans just really were so supportive and wanting to not disappoint them, but just give them content continuously that they would continue to love and be excited to see. And so, yeah, there are always going to be setbacks with social media, and you can't let maybe a time when you're not getting as many views as you have before, you can't let that stop you. It's just the nature of social media. You're going to have your highs and your lows, but just continuing despite having some videos that don't perform as well. And you can't let the videos that don't perform as well define you.
So there's a couple of things you said. One is that you've got some people that are close to you. You mentioned your fiance and your mum and dad. and they encouraged you, right?
Mhm.
Because no one's just on their own, are they? And when you get that encouragement, how does encouragement help you to develop your skills?
Absolutely. Just knowing that I have people who are supporting me and telling me that I'm doing a good job and just asking about what's going on, what videos are coming up. And so having that circle of people around you, and that it could be your family, your friends, it could be your teachers, like all those people that are supporting you. That's something you don't always see behind the scenes with people who are creating content on social media, but you have to have that support network to kind of keep you going backstage.
Yeah, so that's something to remember. So if you've got friends, maybe you've got a bunch of friends, you hang out together, 3 or 4 of you, and you all want to do different stuff. One of you wants to be an artist, one of you wants to be like a YouTuber, someone wants to be a soccer player. When you encourage each other, it almost like gives you strength. It's like powering somebody else's batteries up when you give encouragement. Okay, one more thing that I'm going to ask you. So I've noticed that sometimes on social media, there might be some people that say things that are like, they would never say to your face. They might say, I don't like your Boomwhackers. I don't like your hair. How do you deal with that? Because sometimes, like, if people would say that to me up to my face, I'd be really disappointed and discouraged, not encouraged.
Right.
So how do you deal with like some of those mean things that people say?
It's difficult, and it's something as I've gone on, you have to kind of develop a tough skin, because there are always going to be people who are negative on social media. Even when my channel, I try to be as positive and just fun and musical, there are going to be people who don't like what I'm doing. But again, just realizing that it's people that they wouldn't say this to someone in real life, and most of the time they're hiding behind an anonymous account, user string of numbers, and they don't have a profile picture, and just realizing that those people are probably hurting in some way to attack me. And I know that I know what I'm doing is positive and is having a positive impact on people. So you will always have the negative people, but not letting them weigh down or cancel out all of the positive interactions that are happening because of social media.
Sure. And it's something for us to learn, isn't it? That when we are commenting on stuff, like if you go online and you think you want to make a negative comment, think actually that person is a real person. Like Miss Jenkins is like a real person. And imagine how she feels when she gets that comment back. So think about what we need to think about what we put online, because we want to be responsible for what we say. Okay, so we've got this song in Quaver that we've written called Be Careful How You Use the Internet. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is how, like, if you're a young person watching this, maybe you're in elementary school and you've got an iPad or a Chromebook, and maybe you've got access to online at home, how can you make sure that what you're doing online is safe and you're not going to get harmed by using those tools?
Right. I think one thing that's really important to remember when you're online is that you are a real person, and the people you are interacting with are real people. It can be easy to feel disconnected from that. And so anytime you're leaving a comment, just think, is this something that is kind? Is this something that I need to say? You can make really nice comments and say, wow, I love this video, and you can share it with your friends, but making sure that we're using the internet in a good way and using websites that we know are safe. The internet can have so many wonderful tools, and like on the Quaver website, so many tools for music creation, and there are other tools out there. But asking the trusted adults in our life, what websites are safe for us to be on, and being careful about giving out personal information.
Also, like you said, just to underline what you said, you should never put your phone number or your address or your full name or anything like that. I know maybe that's something that everybody knows, but it's always worth saying that, isn't it? And I suppose if you wanted to say something that it was maybe critical or make a suggestion without it being hurtful to the person that's hearing it, you have to think, don't you, about what you're going to say.
Right, and think about it before if you type in a comment and before you publish that comment, think about maybe how you would feel if someone said that same comment back to you. And if it's something that you think, oh, maybe this comment would hurt my feelings, then it could very easily hurt the person who you're commenting on their video, hurt their feelings. And so just being kind and always remembering that everyone is a real person on the internet, and we always want to be kind and be safe.
Let me ask you this question. Would you rather spend hours and hours and hours and hours watching somebody else do something really cool? Or would you rather learn to do that thing yourself?
I would rather learn to do the thing myself.
Sure. So that's one danger also with social media is sometimes we can spend hours and hours and hours watching other people think, oh, they're cool, they're cool, they're cool, they're cool, they're cool. But you have got amazing talents. Miss Jenkins has got amazing talents. I've got talents that I want to use and develop and practice. And maybe one of those things is better than doing the other. So thank you for those answers. They're great.
Absolutely.